The palace thought the Lilibet controversy was already dangerous enough, until whispers exploded that Doria Ragland allegedly held private photos nobody inside the royal family had ever seen, and suddenly Prince Harry found himself trapped between Hollywood secrecy, furious royal pressure, and a public backlash growing uglier by the hour. Because this time, the criticism wasn't just coming from royal watchers. It was coming from everywhere. And the moment insiders started hinting that private family images may have been shown behind closed doors during a tense California gathering, the internet completely lost control.
I don't believe that that's her voice, on the grounds that every photograph we've seen of the alleged children, their hair color changes, their height and body type changes, their face changes. So this is just, some random voice. All we saw was some little hand that seemed so small, it didn't seem like it belonged to a 3-year-old. So much was inconsistent about this that, I just think it's a kind of a turnoff. I'm not buying it.
It's official. The Australia tour was all about selling, and yes, I did say the word selling. Merching is not strong enough. The children. So-called Prince Archie, so-called Princess Lily. Now the Sussexes are openly defying Queen Elizabeth II by selling products named and based on these minors.
Everything reportedly started after rumors spread online that a small private dinner involving Meghan's inner circle turned into something far more explosive. According to growing speculation, Doria Ragland allegedly showed unseen photos of Lilibet during a conversation about family loyalty and media attacks. And people close to the situation supposedly walked away stunned by what they had seen. But here's where the story suddenly became dangerous. Critics immediately began asking the same question. If these photos were meant to stay private forever, why were they allegedly being shared at all? And even worse, who exactly was allowed to see them? That question alone triggered another tidal wave of suspicion because the public has spent years hearing about privacy, security fears, and protecting the children from exposure. Yet now there were whispers that exclusive photos may have quietly circulated in selective social settings while Prince Harry remained publicly silent. And the silence became deafening because while Meghan's supporters defended the situation as harmless family sharing, critics were absolutely brutal. They claimed this was another contradiction in a growing pattern where privacy seemed to apply only when convenient. Suddenly, old interviews resurfaced. Old clips resurfaced. Harry's emotional speeches about protecting his children resurfaced. And social media exploded with people accusing the couple of controlling visibility instead of truly avoiding it. Some commentators even claimed Harry looked visibly uncomfortable during recent appearances, almost like someone carrying pressure from both sides at once. One side demanding loyalty to Meghan and Doria, the other side allegedly furious inside palace walls over what they viewed as another uncontrolled media disaster.
Growing fury that Meghan Markle continues to use her royal title, which is in direct contravention to the Sandringham Summit Agreement. And remember, that was a deal that Prince Harry signed off with the late Queen Elizabeth II. So he is now betraying the memory of his late grandmother, not just the current royal family. But what is abundantly clear is that Meghan now views her husband as just a bit part player in this business because it's all about her. This visit was all about her. Of course, the moment she's back, the moment she's starting to push the products again, we get the big announcement from People magazine. Where else? In official press materials and product descriptions, Archie and Lilibet are referred to by their full royal titles.
But the situation became even messier once rumors started spreading that royal aides had quietly reacted behind the scenes. According to online speculation, several palace insiders were allegedly frustrated because every few months another controversy involving Archie or Lilibet suddenly dominates headlines again. And this time, the alleged involvement of Doria Ragland added a completely different layer because unlike Meghan, Meghan, Doria has mostly stayed outside direct controversy publicly. She rarely speaks, rarely reacts, rarely appears involved. So the moment her name became attached to private photos and secret gatherings, people instantly assumed something bigger was happening underneath the surface. Then came the detail that truly sent gossip channels into meltdown. Some online voices began claiming the photos allegedly showed moments far more personal than anything previously released publicly. Not official birthday portraits, not blurry distant images, but intimate family-style pictures that critics say completely contradicted the Sussex narrative of extreme privacy. Nobody could confirm the claims, nobody could verify anything. But by that point, it honestly didn't matter anymore because public perception had already spiraled into chaos. Every rumor became another headline. Every headline became another attack on Harry. And instead of defending himself directly, he reportedly stayed almost completely invisible while Meghan continued moving forward publicly. That contrast became a major talking point overnight. Critics started asking why Harry always appears trapped in these situations. They pointed out how he once described media intrusion as traumatic and deeply damaging because of what happened to Princess Diana. Yet now he allegedly finds himself surrounded by controversies involving selective exposure of his own children. Some even accused him of losing control over his own narrative completely. Others claimed the pressure from both California celebrity culture and royal expectations had pushed him into an impossible position where every decision now creates backlash from one side or the other.
Is she purposefully now trying to take on the royal family?
Yes, I think this is one of her things where she says, look, I can do anything much better than you. And the Queen is now no longer here. She realises it's such a good time because King Charles won't get involved with that because he's not well and he's got plenty to do. And William and Catherine, they've got their own issues and problems and very busy, and their children. So she's just done it and is probably roaring with laughter how clever it is.
It's not just making a mockery of the royal family. They're making a mockery of the United States Constitution.
Correct.
That prohibits the use of royal titles, especially in American politics. And Harry and Meghan, can't be ignorant to this fact. They've used the titles against congressional advisement on continuum, preceding public, even political speeches. So they simply can't do it. It creates a false sense of elevated status and reliance that the public have.
And then came the part that allegedly shook royal observers the most. Rumors began circulating that certain members inside royal circles were no longer just frustrated, but I was embarrassed, especially because this latest controversy arrived at a time when the monarchy is already battling image problems, internal tensions, and public scrutiny. Critics argued that every Sussex-related scandal drags the institution back into chaos all over again. Some commentators even claimed Prince William was allegedly growing tired of constant distractions surrounding Harry's family drama, particularly stories involving media leaks, branding accusations, and endless speculation around the children. Meanwhile, speculation kept growing around Doria's alleged role in everything. Some believed she was simply acting like a proud grandmother sharing family memories privately. Others were convinced there was something more strategic happening behind the scenes, especially because every family-related controversy somehow keeps reigniting attention around Meghan's projects, interviews, or public image. That theory alone added fuel to an already uncontrollable fire because critics began connecting timelines, appearances, and media cycles together like pieces of some giant hidden puzzle.
By the way, let me just be honest with you. It's because Meghan knows Confessions of a Female Founder is a massive flop, so she's trying to fill the space with everything else possible so that people are not talking about the fact that her podcast has fallen out of the top 100. It's mortifying. But so what we got was Lily's voice. And there's been a lot of people, including Angela, raising questions about this very odd sounding voice. Now, when I was watching the Jamie Kern-Lima interview, was struck by Meghan's use of a word. Watch this.
I love when things look beautiful. And even when you don't have a lot, you're able to make things look
beautiful. She's always talking about beautiful in a particular way. And guess who else on Sunday was saying beautiful?
But
what do we think, Lily?
I think It's beautiful.
Some royal commentators accused the Sussex circle of carefully managing visibility instead of protecting privacy. Others pushed even further, claiming the children themselves had become symbolic tools inside a much larger public relations battle involving sympathy, branding, and attention control. Those accusations immediately triggered outrage from supporters who argued the attacks had crossed a disgusting line. But the backlash didn't stop. If anything, it intensified, because now every side felt emotionally invested in proving the other wrong. The pressure surrounding Harry reportedly became even more intense once insiders and commentators started asking a question nobody inside the Sussex circle seemed prepared to answer properly. If the children are truly meant to remain protected from public life, why do these controversies involving hidden photos, selective appearances, and mysterious glimpses keep happening over and over again? That question spread everywhere because people noticed a pattern forming. Every time criticism around branding, projects, or public image started gaining momentum, somehow another deeply personal family-related moment suddenly entered the conversation and completely redirected attention. Critics didn't believe that timing was accidental anymore. They believed it was strategic. And once that narrative took hold online, the backlash against Harry became absolutely ruthless. Some commentators even claimed Harry now looks emotionally exhausted during appearances, almost like someone caught between two worlds that no longer fit together. On one side there is the royal family, an institution built on strict image control, silence, and hierarchy. On the other side there is California's celebrity culture, where visibility is currency and emotional storytelling drives attention. Critics argue Harry once hated that system. He openly attacked the media machine for years. He warned about exploitation. He compared public obsession to what destroyed his mother's life. Yet now, according to his harshest critics, he allegedly finds himself participating in a softer version of the exact same cycle. That contradiction is what people cannot stop talking about. And things reportedly became even more uncomfortable after speculation emerged that private tensions inside the Sussex household may be growing worse behind closed doors. Online voices began pushing theories that Harry allegedly wanted stricter boundaries involving the children, while Meghan's public strategy supposedly moved in a completely different direction. Nobody could prove those claims, but the rumors exploded anyway because observers started connecting tiny details together. The gradual increase in family content, the carefully controlled glimpses, the emotional storytelling, the mysterious voice clips, the blurred photos, the selective reveals. Critics argued none of it felt random anymore. They believed every single moment looked curated for maximum discussion while still maintaining enough secrecy to avoid full transparency. But then the story took another dramatic turn when rumors surfaced that certain royal figures allegedly viewed Doria Ragland's involvement as crossing an invisible line. According to speculation circulating online, palace insiders were reportedly stunned that Meghan's mother had now become attached to controversies involving unreleased family images at all. Some commentators claimed this was especially sensitive because Doria has long been viewed publicly as calm, quiet, and detached from palace warfare. So the moment her name entered this storm, people interpreted it as proof that tensions behind the scenes may be deeper than anyone realized publicly. Critics immediately started asking whether this was accidental grandmother behavior or whether family members around Meghan were allegedly becoming more involved in shaping narratives than previously believed. Harry started getting dragged from every direction imaginable. Some accused him of betraying royal values. Others mocked him for losing authority inside his own household. Some even claimed he looked increasingly isolated from both Britain and Hollywood simultaneously, stuck in a strange middle ground where neither side fully trusts him anymore. Supporters defended him fiercely, arguing the attacks had become deeply personal and unfair. But critics kept hammering the same point repeatedly. If Harry truly disagreed with any of this, why does the pattern allegedly continue? Meanwhile, royal commentators continued dragging old palace tensions back into the spotlight again. Suddenly, stories involving Prince William resurfaced. Stories involving trust resurfaced. Stories involving the Sandringham agreements resurfaced. Critics argued the monarchy originally believed distance from royal duties would reduce drama, but instead, the controversies simply transformed into a non-stop Hollywood-style media cycle attached to royal branding. That perception reportedly frustrated many royal observers because instead of disappearing quietly, the Sussex saga somehow keeps reinventing itself every few months with another emotional headline dominating public conversation. Then came another explosive theory that made the backlash spiral even further. Some commentators began suggesting the alleged photo controversy may have triggered private concerns about future leaks entirely. Not official media leaks, personal leaks, family circle leaks. The kind of leaks leaks that happen when trust inside relationships reportedly starts collapsing. That speculation became especially intense because people noticed how carefully everybody around the Sussexes now speaks publicly. Every interview sounds calculated. Every statement sounds polished. Every appearance feels controlled. Critics say that level of caution doesn't happen unless fear already exists underneath the surface. Fear of betrayal. Fear of backlash. Fear of losing control of the narrative completely. And honestly, that's what makes this story feel so explosive right now. Not just the alleged photos themselves, not even Doria's rumored involvement. It's the growing perception that nobody fully knows who is controlling the Sussex narrative anymore. Some people believe Meghan controls it. Others believe Hollywood advisors do. Others believe Harry is trapped trying to balance impossible pressures from every side. But what keeps making the situation more dramatic is how every attempt to calm controversy somehow creates an even bigger one immediately afterward. One interview creates backlash. One family moment creates conspiracy theories. One photo creates another wave of online analysis. And now this alleged situation involving Doria has only intensified public obsession all over again. At the same time, critics began comparing Harry's current image to the version of himself people once admired years ago. The rebellious prince who openly fought tabloids. The emotional son defending his mother's legacy. The royal outsider demanding privacy and peace. Commentators argue that image is now colliding directly with a completely different reality filled with celebrity deals, branding accusations, controlled family reveals, and endless media speculation involving his children. That contrast has damaged him badly in the eyes of some former supporters because they no longer understand where the line between authenticity and image management actually exists anymore. And the worst part for Harry reportedly is that the controversy refuses to die down because every new conversation about Lilibet instantly reopens years of unresolved tension surrounding the Sussex family. Questions about visibility, questions about trust, questions about royal titles, questions about media manipulation, questions about privacy. It all comes flooding back together at once every single time. That's why this alleged Doria Ragland photo situation exploded so quickly. It wasn't just about pictures. It became symbolic of something much larger people have been arguing about for years now.